Good evening and welcome to this episode of the Experience Today. I'm your host, Mr. Roderick and I am always here, not a miss, with my lovely co-host, Miss Valerie Zen. Good evening. How you doing? How are things down there in South Florida?
I feel like I'm living on a hot air balloon on another planet. It's just, it, first of all, this level of heat. I don't know if anybody else has ever experienced this. I haven't. In 26, 27 years, I've never felt it this hot, ever. And it's just like this very strange, eerie feeling of like super heat, almost feels dry like Arizona. And then it just starts blowing up, and then the rain comes down at all weird times. Like usually we would get these afternoon storms. Now it's just happening in the middle of the night, and it just happened here right now at this time. And it always happens after I water the garden and water all the trees. That's when it rains. So I guess I'm able to manifest water by doing it, and then I didn't have to do it. Okay, be that as it may. I'm not the only one going through this, that's for sure. So what are we talking about today? I feel like Donald Trump wrote that song. Let's give him something to talk about.
Well, they will always have something to talk about as long as Republican is in office. They'll always have something to talk about because it's
Yeah, but this,
counter everything that what
yeah,
they're Republicans, and I mean I hate using party, but for this instance I will. I mean they're literally based on being pitted against each other in X, Y, and Z, whatever that policy is. They're
yeah.
complete opposites, right? And I think about that, and I'm just like, there's always going to be something to talk about, but it's always the Democrats having something to talk about. Never the other way,
That's very true.
right?
That's very true.
They'll find
Um,
something to pick on.
but I will say that this obsession with the hatred of Donald Trump is kind of even more intense than I've ever seen it. You know, I mean, I know they shot at Ronald Reagan and, other presidents for sure. So I guess maybe it was more quiet. Maybe it was more quiet in the 60s and in the 40s and in the 70s. Maybe what's happening now is a level of truth coming to fruition that has us hearing things louder and feeling things more intensely. Um, I, I'm I'm kind of amazed myself at what I'm even hearing from people who are intuitive, and I will go there, and ex-CIA people who are intuitive, and people who know stuff because they've had their fingers in the mud pie. And I'm hearing a lot of spiritual talk based on, I don't want to say this to be outside of reality. I want to stay where I am in this moment. But I'm hearing that we have tunnels. No, it isn't even a tunnel. It's like an elevator system out in Arkansas that go 5 miles underground. And there exists spacecrafts from other planets that were brought here after World War II. And I'm hearing this from very sane people who have been part of CIA and the military, and kind of convinced me that they know this stuff and they've seen this stuff and they've heard this stuff. And amongst certain avenues of people, this is a known truth. And, you know, I really believe deep down inside, because I think somewhere in my life, I've always felt that there was something going on outside of where we think we are in this moment. I think, this is me, that possibility exists that we are operating on a frequency that's so sped up that it's hard for us, other than the fact that we're all feeling chaotic and kind of exhausted and spinning, and I'm hearing even ringing in your ears, like that it might have to do with the downloading of information from aliens, from other beings that are trying to save us in this moment and have us catch up with what we've been missing for 300-400 years, that they've shut down our pituitary glands so that our intuition hasn't been working and we haven't been able to be where we're supposed to be. Okay, I'll stop right there because that's as far as I'm going to word this out. I'm taking a deep breath, and that's something we all have to do. Right now, we need to take deep breaths because it's the speed of light is like not where we're supposed to operate. But let's face it, the internet is operating. Maybe, I don't know what the speed of the internet is. Maybe you do, Rod. I don't really know. I just know that it's pretty immediate if you're on the right channel. And our brains have to get there now, right channel. So I want to go back to just the moment. I guess it was it Sunday morning that we heard about Lindsey Graham's passing? Was it Sunday morning?
Yeah, it was Sunday. Yeah, I think it's
It was
Sunday morning.
Sunday.
Yeah, it was Sunday.
Okay. So I flip on, the TV and I hear this and I'm like, oh, who wanted to kill him?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can't say that that would have ever been my first thought about hearing that someone passed away of a so-called heart attack.
No,
okay?
that was my first thought.
Okay. And I bet you almost everyone in the chat room would agree that that was their first thought. So then, you move through the cycle of the day. And you go into, wow, that's the first thing I thought of. And that's a space and a place that you have to reckon with and realize that that just happened. And when a plane goes down, and this was my second thought, I'm thinking to myself, every time a plane goes down, I'm thinking, who was on that plane that somebody wanted to get rid of? I never thought that before. Although I must say, there were times I thought that, but not in this time, not in this moment that we're in. So the ability for us to not having been given truth in a way that resonates. We've been given so many lies going back to day one that we were born and all of it, and we're recognizing this now, and that's part of the frequency and the vibration that we're in that's speeding up so heavily. Mm-hmm. Once we realize that we've been lied to this extent, it takes a hold of you and moves you quickly into a totally other space and place in time. time is also an illusion. And I think from what I've been hearing and experiencing in myself, that Back to the Future was not a science fiction movie. And
No.
we are basically going to be entering a period where we're going to be able to be the avatars. We are going to be able to travel through time. We're getting there. Med beds, all the technology that's coming out and being exposed is all part of what we are experiencing right now. It's all tied in. Even though it sounds like it's not, it's all tied in. So, and then one of my favorite ones is he was poisoned in Ukraine. And the CIA gave him that heart-killing drug that you can never identify. Okay, so if that happened in Ukraine, how did he make it home in the plane and get to his apartment and call Donald Trump on the phone? And he said he felt tired, but he, I guess, was traveling for, I don't know how long it takes to get to Ukraine. I'm guessing like 8-9 hours. I don't know. I never went there. And then comes listening to another show last night by an FBI agent who, by the way, trained a lot of the FBI informants and people that we're familiar with. He was given the shot, and pilots have been dropping out of the sky. I'm just like, wow, what a space we're in. You know, I was in that space when John F. Kennedy Jr.'s plane went down, because I was standing there at the ocean on Martha's Vineyard in 1999. I really remember this, and it's kind of very emotional for me, because everybody started like carrying on all around me, and I never saw that plane go down, although we were alerted to get away from the beach, stay away from the beach. There's an investigation going on. People were freaking out. And my late husband, Michael, had just landed at Martha's Vineyard Airport. And I went to pick him up. And I said, "Do you know what just happened?" And he said, "Yes, I was just flying in split pea soup." And I said, "Kennedy's plane just went down in what you were flying in." Now, here's the interesting part of the story. Being on the Vineyard, it was a pretty small space and place, island on its own. We had one little newspaper. There was not a frickin' word in the newspaper about that plane going down, not past a day later. There's an ongoing investigation. Nothing was ever published, and very, very little was ever spoken about that plane, or bodies found, or anything certain about it. Did anybody mess with the plane? Was, you know, who involved? You know, of course, she had lunch with him the day before, and kind of wanted to be the senator or whatever it was that she was.
Right.
I'm not going to mention any names just for the sake of not getting red flags. So
I want to go back to that just real quick, right, about the Lindsey Graham thing, right? Because now we know the timeline. It takes about 6.5 hours if you let's say, for example, you fly straight from Reagan to Kyiv. It's about 6.5 hours, right?
Okay.
Straight through to Kyiv. So I want people to go back, right? Back in 2018, right, where they're tried to say that Putin tried to assassinate Sergei and Yulia Skripal back in 2018 in the UK using Novichok,
Right.
right? The Novichok nerve agent. Now,
That's it.
right, that nerve. Now, I obviously the fastest effect for a nerve agent is inhalation, right? But it can be transmitted through the hands, right? Through dermal, right? So, I mean, literally, right? And I'm just going to throw this out there, right? All it takes for someone to have it on their glove, on their hand, and shake the hand of Lindsey Graham. That's all it would take, right? And dermal exposure is the delayed onset exposure of Novichok, and that can take between several hours to about almost 3 days for it to fully manifest.
Oh, okay.
Right,
I
through
didn't- I
through
didn't-
through the hands, because I mean obviously the hands is thicker, all that stuff, right? Inhalation is up your nose and your lungs, you're cooked, right? But in this instance, all it would take was, in a little bit in the hand, right? Shake the hand firmly, right? Because these guys, they shake hands firmly, and all that. It just takes that little bit of time to rub it into the palm of his hand. And he's like, okay, you don't think none the less, right? Because the Novichok nerve agent is colorless and odorless.
And they can't detect it.
Nope.
Yeah.
So it's very possible, right? And here's the thing, right? And I've thought about this timeline. And I've talked about it with with folk, and he got back and he was on the phone with Trump for hours, right? Yeah. Said he felt tired. That's one of the symptoms of being hit with a nerve agent. You start feeling tired, right? And as I'm playing this, and then all of a sudden he's dead, and then watch this, right? I've never seen an autopsy done so quickly. Right? You remember, Lindsey Graham's body has not even been cold 24 hours. They had an autopsy report. Oh yeah, it was a tear in his heart. How'd you know without cutting him open? Really? Is this what we're doing? I mean, we didn't get the autopsy on George Floyd for weeks. Right? We didn't get the autopsy on Michael Brown for weeks. But we got one. Go ahead.
How about the body missing in Butler, Pennsylvania? That shot.
Right.
The body was scooped up and burned and buried and disappeared in no time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they burned his body. That's what I'm saying. Where we look at this, and again, right, I'm going to tread lightly on how I say this, but most people, understand where this sentiment is coming from, right? You can't sit here and tell me on one hand, right, there's not powers that be in certain places in the system that we have in this country that don't want to impose harm on people they dislike or to keep the order of things the way they want it. Now, let's go back and talk about why was Lindsey in Ukraine? Oh, he had finally figured out how to get peace between Putin and Zelensky.
Okay.
Right?
They don't want that.
Right. There's money to be made.
Of course.
Right. So now Lindsey, because Lindsey is a Ukraine vet. Like, I'm not saying vet like he fought for them, but he's been involved in Ukraine back since the war in the Donbass back in 2010, 2011 before it kicked off. Right. And him and McCain. Right. We've seen the pictures of him and McCain and Mitch McConnell over in Ukraine. They're the vets of Ukraine, right? Now that McCain is gone, you see, and my mind's running right now, so please follow me through my experience right now, right? So now that McCain is gone, right? He's been gone for a minute. He's been gone since Trump's first term, right? Mitch McConnell is presumably gone, right? Because people say it's proof of life. I don't believe it. I don't believe it until I put my eyes on it, right? You know what I'm saying? And now Lindsey's gone. Mm-hmm. All the people, all the Republicans, all the neocons, let me get that right. All the neocons, right, that were experienced in Ukraine, that was trying to shore up a peace deal, which was also the initial agitators. of the 2014 war in the Donbass with the Azov Battalion, but we're not going to go there on that, right? They're all dead.
Mm-hmm.
Or one's presumably dead. Some say, again, proof of life, whatever. I was on a phone call 20 minutes. Fuck that narrative. You sound like a bunch of parrots and mockingbirds, Project Mockingbird. But anyway, right? This is what I'm saying. You had the top 3 people. Watch this, though, right? The top 3 people that was basically neocon experts on Ukraine, right, are now gone. And guess what Putin's starting to do today? Guess what he started to do today? You ready for this one?
Remind me.
He is trying to move on South Ossetia.
Oh.
He's trying to make a move to annex South Ossetia.
There you go.
Right? And no one in the media obviously is not talking about this, right? Because South Ossetia is important.
Because
South Ossetia sits on the other side of Georgia in the Caucasus Mountains.
Okay. It's part of Russia, isn't it?
Well, what it was USSR,
It
right?
was. Okay.
Right, and that's what I want people. That is very, very strategic because it gives him a beeline to Tbilisi, which is the capital of what country? Georgia.
Okay.
Right, so I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this, and Lindsey's going all this on, and Putin says, We're not gonna fuck with Ukraine. We're gonna make a move over here because I want people to also understand in this context, right? If Putin, and this is where the left completely still gets it wrong, right? If Putin wanted Ukraine, he could have it. If Putin wanted Moldova, he would take it. He doesn't want it. He doesn't need it. But he is slowly but surely getting set up for something to break through the Caucasus Mountains. I'm just saying. I'm looking at this as, a what are we doing moment.
Yeah.
Right. What are we doing now? Let's go back to why Lindsey was in Ukraine. Right. And people wanted to be rid of him. It was I don't want to say this with 100% certainty, so I'm gonna say this with 2% certainty. And y'all know why I'm doing this, right? How do I word this? Somebody in Ukraine that is allied with people in the United States needed Lindsey gone.
Yep.
Right? Because
no question about it.
I still firmly believe something else happened to Mitch McConnell. Because again, what did they say, Mitch McConnell? Oh, I fell. No, then what was the first report to McConnell? He had a heart attack.
There you go.
Right? Listen to what I'm saying. Again, I'm not playing conspiracy theory, but some of these things are not lining up. You had the number one neocon, had a heart attack. Oh, no, I fell. That was the excuse he used the last 3 times isn't Walter Reed. I fell. Bullshit. Right? You had a heart attack, bro. And your wife pulled up and rolled out like an Autobot while you're in the hospital
Straight
to
to the CCP.
What?
To say, what's my next assignment?
Like what? And I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff out there for people to because it's not supposed to track. I'm not supposed to put it all together, right? Those of you that have been with me for and have talked to me for a while, I put the things out there that come to my mind. I'm not trying to line anything up. I want you to line it up because I'm not trying to influence your thought. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing from my experience with all this stuff that's been going on and what I'm seeing being played out through the media, what's being played out coming out of the government. And look, I'm gonna say it like this, right? It's mighty indicative that Donald Trump has been quiet. I'm just putting that out there because usually
has he been quiet?
Well, about the Lindsay situation, he's been quiet, right? Because he only spoke of the blurb that Lindsay went to Ukraine and came back. That's
Do you
it.
think here's the question of the day.
Come
Do
on.
you think he knew? Do you think he knew
I,
what
I,
happened?
I
You
don't know.
sure?
I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't
Again,
know.
we don't know. And he's very good at doing the right thing or appearing to do the right thing and not know anything any more than anybody else does. He's very good at that. That's his political star. But there's a good chance he does know. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, now here's another thing in this. All of a sudden, his life, and very interesting. He was brought up over a bar that his parents owned, and he became like this politician at a very young age, dealing with all these drunken people and all this fighting and all this stuff going on. And he had a little sister, and he went away to school and college, and within 1 year, both of his parents passed away. And again, his father was 69 years old and had a massive heart attack. So of course, that's what the medical community feeds into the media, because that is DNA that's relevant to how he died, the narrative. But apparently, his sister was 12 years old when both parents had died, and he adopted her. He adopted his sister. And luckily, family took care of her while he was in law school, and blah, blah, blah. The day after he dies, his sister is being elected to the Senate.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Wait a minute. Who was she that she could even take on this role so quickly? I mean, if my brother was a senator and had been in political office for 30 some odd years, would I be able to step into his spot for 3 or 4 months? I don't know. How did this? And Trump knew who she was and endorsed this move by McMaster, and that happened awfully.
Listen, what up?
Yeah.
Woo!
Let's give him something to talk about.
Now, here's what's interesting. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's almost like they already had her handpicked beforehand.
Okay, so this is something that Ayn Rand in her books talked about. The people John Galted.
Yes.
It's possible, yeah, and it's very possible that people have been taken out, and they're not necessarily dead. They just get put into safe places with masks and and they get taken to safety and it's possible that happened to Charlie Kirk, and it's possible that it happened to Michael Jackson. And these are all people that have been connected, the scientists that all of a sudden disappeared. They knew a lot about what we spoke of early in the show, these aircrafts and these alien beings. Okay, let's take them out. They know about all the Tesla energy that Trump's uncle got all the paperwork from Nikolai Tesla on all this med bed and all this technology, magnetic free electricity, so to speak. It's not electricity, it's just free energy. And we could run everything on free energy. And so people who know this stuff, they got to get taken out, because it interferes with all the industries and organizations making a fortune and keeping us in slavery.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're in a new place where we've got to follow the yellow brick road.
Mm-hmm.
We have to follow the yellow brick road so we can be in the land of Oz.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, 100%. I don't know the whole thing with the sister thing too, right? Because
Yeah, I know. It's just the pudding on the cake.
Because the sister, her name's Darlene.
Yeah.
She was the agency head for the South Carolina Commission for the Blind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, okay, so you're working for an executive branch agency,
Right.
right?
Mm.
Right.
Mm.
Right. Let me look because this was just recent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me look. Okay. Yeah. So here, right. First thing on my damn screen when I opened up freaking the thing. So she was served as a commissioner and agency head of the South Carolina Commission for the Blind from 2019 until 2026.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, she might have been very politically connected because of her
Mm-hmm.
brother. You know, we
Yeah.
can't forget that.
That is true.
And right, and let's face it, she could be in a very good place right now to do some favors for people. But set her aside.
Mm-hmm.
Let's. There's something that we just left out, which is that he was apparently all set. And this is as per Trump speaking on one of the networks the next morning. He was all set to get supposedly the Save America Act passed.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can't forget that piece.
Right.
And now his honored sister is going to do what he was going to do. She's going to follow what his plan was. Assuming.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of mystery here. There's an awful lot of questions, but it's just like everything else. I mean, we're looking at more garbage that we have been fed in, let's just take the past 6 years, for instance. Election fraud. Oh, look what's happening right now with what's his name? The two senators, Warnock and Ossoff. Trump is stepping forward and saying these were invalid elections in Georgia. That's big because that can really start a ball rolling, huh? Yeah. So you know, here we are. We've been fed 6 years of false elections, stolen elections, allegedly. We've been fed the COVID bomb. And what I heard on the set tonight on Real America's Voice, they had one of the doctors from the wellness company come on, and he said, we have a global issue with contaminated blood banks. This is huge. This is massive, because you get in a car accident and you need a blood transfusion, they are not screening the blood, guys. Obviously, if you have elective surgery, you take your own blood and you have someone store it so that in the event you need blood, you've got your own clean blood right there. But that's not what's happening in the world now. And people are getting contaminated who never took the shot, but got a blood transfusion for one reason or another, and now they're infected. So this is big. And
Right.
it was on the news tonight. No red flags here, guys. I'm just saying what I just saw. Could be wrong, could be right. It just is. And it's being reported as such. So, yeah. How long have we been talking about this? We've been
talking about this for a
conspiracy
while.
theorists since forever, since we decided not to engage in the media, bullshit from the start. So, okay. The Thursday night speech is now on every media channel on the planet. And Steve Bannon in the morning, he always shows you what they're talking about on CNN, what they're talking about on MS Now, what they're talking about. So you could have a nervous breakdown before the show even starts. And what is Trump? Oh my God, what is he going to talk about? He's a liar. Everything he says is a lie. So they're telling the public in advance of Trump's speech that everything they're going to hear is a lie. Gee, do you think people are waking up to the fact that this news media is the lie? I think they are, because I'm hearing more and more people. Well, all right. I'm hearing more and more people say, I don't listen to that anymore.
Right.
And they're Democrats, or they think they are. They're communists. They have to first get that they're communists before they understand that they're no longer Democrats, which is a whole other discussion. I think New York is waking up to it real good. Mamdani and his new map of New York City. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He's got some constituents mighty angry and mad in New York City.
But again, here's the question, though, right? Even to your point, right? Are we surprised?
Not us.
Right? Because as much, and I'm going to go there again, like I wrote the piece on Patreon, right? I'm going to go there here live with my words on the air about it, right? The entire machine of the left participates, propagates, right? And projects overt white supremacy. Overtly.
Overtly.
Right? Now, case into the point of Mamdani. I mean, he literally left out Spanish Harlem. I'm not even getting to the main part. He left out Spanish Harlem.
Little Italy.
He left out that Little Italy is the big one.
The big one.
That's the big one. You mean to tell me you want to slap these people, right? Watch this. Watch how I frame this, Ms. Val. You're going to slap these people that 80% of them are of North African descent by genetics.
Right.
Thank you, Hannibal. Right? You mean to tell me you're going to disrespect these brown people? Because Italians are brown. They're brown people in southern Italy and in Sicily. These are brown people.
Mediterranean.
They're not from the Italian Alps like Aviano. They're from Bologna and all down south of there. These are brown people. You mean to tell me you want to disrespect these brown people that came here through Ellis Island and built up New York City? You mean to tell me? And then let me don't get on talking about the dark melanated people that were already there. Right, and he disregarded them too. Right, like shit's crazy.
Look at what he created. He created little Mogadishu, little Palestine. No, the real message. You know what the real message is? He gave New Yorkers. You're getting eliminated. You're getting taken out. The Jewish communities, the Spanish, the Italian. You're all getting taken out. Just get the message because you're not any longer going to be here.
Hey,
That is the real message.
Miss Val, you remember when Democrats were screaming about the Republicans are being racist or paranoid because of the Great Replacement theory? Remember that, Chuck Schumer?
Sure.
Insert here, please.
What should I? Me?
Yeah, we're just going to insert that hype of the Great Replacement theory that they say is not real. Hello.
Oh, it's real.
Hello.
It's real, baby. It's real. It's coming at you. High speed. Yep.
And you know what else is crazy with that, Miss Val? BLM is out there. BLM, Hawk Newsom particularly, right, is out there championing this shit from Mondami. I'm like, what?
Oh, it's gonna be a year.
This is
You know,
crazy.
I had a talk with my daughter today, and I said, "Have you seen Mamdani's new map?" Of course not. No, I haven't seen it. This is what it was. This is what it looked like. I said, you and all your friends and your cohorts better get together and form a posse this year and get on the same page and get this guy out. Support the effort that Trump and many of the politicians are going to be fighting to get this guy escorted out of the country. I mean, if you don't get on board, it's going to happen to you.
Right. And you remember the saying, never again, right? Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just, yeah, never again. Like the Italians and even, you know, Chinatown. I mean, New York City is such an amazing place on so many levels, and it's so divided into these little sections of Manhattan Island, little wonderful, the meatpacking district, the Broadway, Times Square area. Then you go all the way up to Spanish Harlem and Harlem, and there are just so many wonderful neighborhoods that represent different cultures and different wonderful breeds of people. And there was a time where people really got along and protected each other. I mean, I worked in Manhattan, I worked in the Village, and it was just such a wonderful, wonderful environment on so many levels. And I'm not saying there wasn't always crime and dangerous areas and things you had to be careful about, for sure. But I know New York City, and I know the environment. I grew up in that environment. And to see this satanic being step in and think he's going to take charge of, and a lot of people have run, and honestly, I think you should stay and you should fight it out instead of just running, because running is not going to solve anything. He's just going to wear the city down to nothing. People are already leaving that have lost the ability to raise rents on the buildings that they own, and the buildings will then be owned by the government. Perfect communist plan, right? And it's almost like stay and fight, like Scott Lebedo, just stay there and do the fight instead of everybody being these little pansy ass, you know, weak beings. That's what they did to you. They tried to make you into these weaklings who had no fight in you left, because they poisoned you with all the lousy food and the big pharma, and now's the time to just open your eyes and feel your passion and fight this man. Form a posse, get your neighbors together, get your neighborhoods together, start getting in touch with your representatives who are not part of his clan.
Right.
And do this the right way. Anyway, you just brought up something that I read yesterday or today, and it fits right in with this discussion. This Nolan Wells case.
Mm-hmm.
You're familiar with that?
Oh, yeah.
And this is indicative of everything we're talking about, because this young black teenager supposedly drowned off of a boat with his friends. They were all drunk. I mean, really. Anybody that remembers being a crazy teenager and getting drunk with your friends, you were lucky if you were in someone's house because their parents were out, or you were in the back of a vehicle that somebody agreed not to drink because they were driving, or whatever it was. But being on a boat, like with the boat rocking back and forth or speeding and everybody's drinking and this poor kid falls off the boat. But what happens in this, let's see, this just happened on July 6th. It was a July 4th weekend, right? Celebration.
Correct.
Accidental drowning. So what happens, I'm going to jump through this because I wrote this down. Okay, so this is not to suggest that the police didn't conduct a proper investigation, but who steps in? Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, Spike Lee, Tyler Perry, Colin Kaepernick. They step in, insert themselves into this happening, and they said, these kids, they were white. They were all white, and they threw their black friend into the water. This is suspicious. Are you kidding me? Apparently, they all said, no, he was one of us. We were all pals. Why would you not believe that from a bunch of teenagers who had been hanging out together? They were friends. So here we have the media saying Wells' death is mysterious. And there's more to this story. That could end up being the case, obviously. We don't know. But we're just like looking at the media now saying, what the fuck are you doing? And what are all these people doing that stepped into this, that inserted themselves into the narrative of race? And blacks drowning in mysterious circumstances is now a concern of the media? Since when? Where was that investigative bug when Tafari Campbell, the longtime Obama chef, suspiciously drowned while paddleboarding in a pond near the Obama compound on Martha's Vineyard? You know what? I spent a lot of time there too. I seem to have been in a lot of the right places at the right time. You know, all I can say to you is the ponds on Martha's Vineyard, they're not very deep. I've gone clamming and fishing in them. They're not very deep. I heard a rumor, and God, I don't know if this is possible. Anybody that knows me knows my sarcasm. I don't know if this is possible, but apparently Obama was like writing this book, and there was a lot of information in the book that the poor chef maybe, I don't know, maybe he was snooping, I really don't know, and he started to like know too much. And he had this horrible accident in a pond that's about 3 feet high in high tide. Yeah. So, you know, the media is calling for, the blacks across social media are calling for white punishment and asserting that whites can't be trusted. I want to know when all those white talking heads on MS Now and CNN are going to see this for what it is. What say you, Rod?
Oh, boy. This is no different. Let's keep it 1,000, right? This is no different than going back to Michael Brown.
Yeah.
Right? He ain't do nothing. He didn't do anything. The cop just shot him.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm? We uh call Trayvon.
Oh yeah.
Same thing,
Right
right?
on.
Right?
Mm, yeah.
Right. Do we talk about well who else do we talk about in this circumstance? George Floyd,
George Floyd. He was such a good guy. They built a statue of him.
right? Um
Yeah.
Carmelo,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
They,
Keep it going on.
people, dark melanated people can't do anything wrong,
No,
apparently,
it's all white supremacy.
right?
Absolutely.
Now, I'm going I'm going to say this, right? They're calling for all these dark melanated influencer social media people to talk about Nolan, right? But I don't see these same people having the same energy for missing and exploited black children.
No.
I don't see the media picking that up. But
Nope.
but what they what you know what they will do? They will plaster pictures of Lake and Riley on the screen, right? And demonize her and her family is what they will do,
Of course.
right? These same quote unquote black or dark melanated influence, however they identify today,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Get their marching orders from people that purport the white supremacy. Because let's don't think for a minute that the Al Sharptons and the Ben Crumps of the world ain't getting money on the slide and on the side from SPLC and organizations like them to perpetuate hate. This is the only reason they get into the middle. Oh, as a black kid in Mississippi, oh, we got to jump in here because Mississippi's very racist. Well, have you been to Jackson, Mississippi? Jackson, Mississippi has the most black people in the city than any other city in Mississippi. Down to the point where, not from the mayor down to 2 people on the city council are black. Are you kidding me? But we still got all this white supremacy in Mississippi. See, these people, these IQs, the IQs is no higher than the crooked letters in the word Mississippi.
You probably can't spell it.
They can't think straight like those crooked letters. Like, black people and white people cannot get along and go out on a boat and go fishing for an accident not happening. But we're gonna say, oh, these white kids threw him off the boat.
They threw him, yeah, because he was black. They threw him overboard.
Like what in the white supremacy nation are we living in? Oh, I know which one we're living in. The one, watch this, Ms. Val, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna shut up and let you finish. Right? We live in a nation. We live in a nation that people put on blackface to purport white supremacy. I said what I said. Go ahead.
Do the black people ever suspect, or the melanated people, that they're being used to perpetuate communism?
No.
They're being used
no.
to create this racist, conflicting environment so that the communists can come in and save the day.
Oh,
and believe me, they will kill everybody.
Don't forget that not only the communists but the Islamists, right? Let's keep it real, because I'm not gonna demonize a bunch of people, but what I will do is demonize an ideology or religion that perpetuates hate and racism, right? And I'm gonna keep it 100,000 this time, right? That same religion, those Islamists, are enslaving dark people that look like me in Northern Africa right now. There's more African slaves in Northern Africa than there ever was in the transatlantic slave trade. I need people to take that shit to the bank, right? Let's keep that real. They're also going down in countries like Nigeria and killing up to 300 to 400 Christians a day. But I don't see these black influencers talking about standing on their blackness, right? For these people. So I'm going to leave it right here, right? I'm gonna leave it right here, and I'm gonna shut my ass up about it.
Listen.
These same people,
Yeah, go ahead.
these same people will call folks like me a sellout. But I have a message, right? I have a message, right? Because these gatekeepers of blackness, or what that looks like, right? They have the audacity to call someone a sellout when they're they're trying to barter something they never owned, but trying to sell it like snake oil. That's the sellout. That is the sellout. Because you can't sell something you don't own. And these people were born and sold into mental slavery. They were born and sold, right, into intellectual dishonesty.
You know what? We all were. We all were. We were all bought and sold with our birth certificates. We are part of the corporation. We have totally indoctrinated our entire lives, and we are waking up now in a hard wake up with a very loud alarm clock going off. Laura Loomer, she's been really on track with the jihad movement. She wrote on X today. Now, her life has been threatened, as well as Trump's, on the flags in Iran and holding up the heads with the beheading pictures on it and the blood dripping. Mm-hmm. She says, Laura Loomer, and I'm going to quote you, "Threaten to kill me and I will get your Muslim ass deported." IRGC Lego accounts. Now, they are threatening actively, of course, to kill Trump, but to kill Laura Loomer, to kill J.D. Vance, and to kill Pete Hegseth. And they have written this out across the board, direct threats on their immediate targets, but their immediate targets are all of us. All of us. And I think in the next few months, we're going to see some big activity, major activity. And it's going to be both enlightening and absolutely frightening. It's that near-death experience that people have been speaking of, and just take a deep breath. This is going really fast now, and Trump's Thursday night speech, everybody's on TV saying, oh, what is he going to talk about? Iran, election fraud, COVID truths. Jack Smith, that man's in BFT, Jack Smith. He's on the chopping block. We have like a lining up for the removal of souls right now. And not good souls. Mm-hmm. Souls that have been irreparably damaged. And there's a lot of them. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard on us who trusted, had faith in, went along with. We're going to have to do a lot of soul searching. We're going to, of course, have to trust in God and pray. That's always part of it.
Yes, it is.
But yes, stay focused, deep breath, take a walk if it's not too hot. And today, Donald Trump sat down at his desk and said, okay, now we're going to own Canada and Greenland again. Oh my God. He said, oh my God, here we all are trying to catch up with what's going to happen Thursday night. He's moving. Now we're back to Greenland and Canada. Are you kidding me?
It's smart. This is smart. And we're coming up on time here, right?
It is.
It's smart because going to the theme, the title of the show, give them something to talk about. He has literally done the 90-day media cycle on these people. This is what he's literally, and I find it hilarious. Now that you mention it, right? It's hilarious because now they're, oh no, he's going after Canada again. He's going after Alberta and he's going after Greenland. And I'm like, You motherfuckers don't understand that shit. How you gonna stop talking to the Danes about Greenland to go mess with go? So here's the top. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Let's break this down before we leave. Right? Let's break this down. Right. So we got the Greenland controversy. No, it started with Canada. Canada's gonna be the 51st state. Ha ha ha.
Right.
Then it went to Greenland. Right.
Yeah.
We left Greenland. What did we do? We went to Venezuela and snatched Maduro.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh, he's going to get them all.
Right. So now after we snatch Maduro, now we go to Iran. Right. Meanwhile, while in Iran, we've done all the song, the pomp and circumstance, and the dance and the tap dancing on the sand pile over there. We come back stateside. And we're talking about actually Cuba popped up. I forgot. Cuba popped up, right?
Oh yeah.
Cuba popped up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to do whatever with Cuba, whatever. We're going to talk to the Castro thing, whatever. Cool, right? Let's leave that on the side burner. To actually take that off the burner a second. We come back to the United States. Oh, no, they're talking about Greenland and Canada again.
Yeah.
Watch this.
And
I guarantee. Go ahead.
The media is going bullshit right now.
Right. Now, watch this.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, by the end of August, we will be in Cuba, because this is how this is going to work. We go down here, we distract him. Oh no, he went out there and took a guy without da 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 da, and then he went to Iran to go but y'all over here back in America, he's about to go into Cuba. Watch what I tell you. Mark my words on this part of this show. He is about to go into Cuba because he's got him so distracted and he doesn't know what the fuck.
Everybody. He took the plane to that side of the world. He had to take another plane home. Oh my God, they were going to blow the plane up. Oh my God, they had secret stuff. Oh my God.
Yep.
Do you see? Does everybody see what a master this man is? I hope so, because I always knew this. And he is driving the entire world crazy. And it's a beautiful thing.
All I'm saying is, look, he played the media cycle on them. He played their own game. He's beaten. He will beat them at their own game, because again, it's going to continue exposing what they are, the parrots they are, through this, right? Like, this is crazy. Miss Val, thank you as always.
You're welcome.
And I thank everybody
everyone.
pulling through like kung fu. And please remember, if you're not on Patreon, make sure you do that. Patreon.com/TOLMF. Make sure you're checking us out on torturelibertymedia.com, nottheamendmentproject.org, and all that good stuff. And if you want to find me on social media, ManAdjustice007 on TikTok, or my first and last name on Twitter. You know how I get down. But anyway, hey, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. You guys have a great week, and we will see